Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to have a little talk about homeschool today. We're coming into week 3 now of working from home with the kids, and I have to admit the first week was atrocious. I feel like we had no notice whatsoever. So obviously if you're in the UK you'll know what I mean. We found out about lockdown part 3 on the Monday night, the very first day that the kids actually went back to school after the Christmas holidays, which was crazy timing. So I'm not gonna lie, I was really upset, and week 1 was so hard because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have any of the stuff out. As far as I was concerned, they would go to school. I was fuming because I'd ironed all of their clothes for the whole week trying to be misorganised, and then Boris tells us that we're all going to stay at home with our children. Which, if I'm honest, I completely understand and I'm behind it, but I think the upset was just the shock and I just wasn't ready. I was determined by week 2 to get things back on track. So what I did was, before we went back for week 2, I made sure I was completely ready, and I just want to share with you guys 5 top tips that I think have helped me through the homeschooling journey. So tip number 1 is be organised and prepared. I'm not naturally a very organised person. I am when it comes to like household things, but day to day I am a last minute Larry. So I am the one that will be panic ironing in the morning, and I'll forget to do the lunches the night before and be stuck with them in the mornings. So as you can imagine, it's a bit of a nightmare. So the first thing for me is staying organised. I started with the basics, so making sure that our clothes were ready for the next day. So in the morning we just had to get up and get ready. I also prepare lunch the night before wherever I can. There is the odd time where I don't, but mostly I try and make like a packed lunch, and I also include like snacks for the kids, because I'm sure that every parent out there will be with me when I say that all of a sudden our kids are at home and want to eat all day every day. So I make sure that everything's really accessible for the kids, even to the degree of having a water bottle ready for them in the fridge. We have a schedule which really works for us, and also, if I'm honest, we have kind of rules, so they know that the minute my phone rings they can't interrupt me. So it's quite good to do that. Another thing that I do to stay organised is I have a look at what their work is in advance, because if I'm honest, I don't understand half the stuff, especially Eva gets set. So she's in year 6 of primary school, and it's quite tricky. I mean, it's 30 years since I was doing the things that they're doing, so you do forget, and it's so different now. So I always look at their work before and try and understand it myself, so that when they're doing it, and if they've got any questions, I'll be able to help them. So tip number 2, having a routine. Having a routine in place is really handy because we all know what each other need to do, and we can just crack on and do it. And actually it just becomes like clockwork. Like I don't even need to tell the kids now that they get up, they know that they need to just get ready straight away, wear their clothes are, and it's just a lot easier for all of us just to get on with the day. So routine is huge. So tip number 3 is to have a backup plan. So I always think that routine's going to go to plan and we all are quite happy doing what we need to do, but then there is the time where I might get a phone call from work and we're not ready for that, and then the kids are like hovering in the background or waving at me. So we've agreed now that if there is a time where we need to change our plan for any reason, and usually it is if I receive a phone call, because if I'm honest, my calls take up like half my life. So if the kids can't carry on with their work and they need to speak to me, they know just to stop. If I'm on the phone, they'll stop what they're doing and they'll either watch BBC Bite Size, which is always on in the background, or they'll pick up like an easy task that they've got to do, and we kind of reserve them in the middle of a table. So they know that if they can't ask me for help, they'll just pick up something from the middle of the table and get on with that. Or they'll start reading their reading books or watch a movie. I try to keep it quite flexible, but as long as the kids know that the minute I'm not able to be there for them, they've got something else to do. So that backup plan really does help. So another thing I would suggest as tip number 4 is not to overload yourself. I feel like when I very first started doing this, I wanted to please everyone. So I wanted to make sure that the school were happy, and I was doing as much as I could with the kids. And then I wanted to do Joe Wicks every morning, and then I wanted to make sure that they were getting those extra classes in that someone on Facebook is doing, and actually it was way too much. The kids go to school for 6 hours a day, and I was trying to fill in literally our whole day with stuff for them to do, as well as trying to do my own job, and honestly it was just exhausting. So I keep it really simple now. I stick to the core subjects that they get from school, which they get plenty of work from school. I don't need to add to it at all. And I know that there's some parents out there that will still need to use these extra resources, but for me it's just not necessary, so I'm just keeping it simple. I would say have an honest conversation with your school. I've done that. So we have deadlines of when work needs to be submitted, and usually the work needs to be submitted on a daily basis. I've agreed with the school, but I will do that on a Sunday, because the amount of time it takes to kind of upload work and then press submit for each of the kids, honestly, it's quite a long task. I'd rather do it all in one go rather than every single day. It's just an admin task I can do without. And the school are fine with that. I think as long as they understand what the circumstances are at home, they're there to help. So please do speak to your school, don't overload yourself, and definitely don't have any big DIY plans in the house, because we tried that last year, it just didn't work. I had an absolute breakdown. So right now I'm just keeping it simple in the house as well. Just the chores that keep the house running, and that's about it. So the last tip number 5, is be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself and be kind to your kids. Celebrate the good days and the wins that you get on those days, and just forgive yourself for having a bad day. We're all human, we're doing the best that we can do, and the last thing you want to do is bog yourself down with stress when it's already such a stressful time anyway. With the kids, I find that if I'm encouraging, they're really happy about that. So I look at their work and I'm like, wow, that's really amazing, and then they get really happy. And of course they do, because who doesn't like a bit of recognition? So definitely stay kind, because it's not going to be forever. You're doing the best that you can do, and I think that for myself. And don't get me wrong, there'll be days where I'm sat here just really down on myself because I don't feel like I've had a good day. And I just have to remind myself that we've done so well. We've done it before, we'll do it again. Just keep remembering you're doing the best that you can do. Stay positive, stay happy, and before we know it, we'll be back to normal. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I hope these tips have helped. If you want any more in-depth tips, take a look at my latest blog on Bapa's Diary. I'll put the link in the description. And you can also always check out my Instagram, MummyTimeUK, and see what I'm up to there. So thanks for watching another one of my videos. Don't forget, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, bye!